Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 weekly reset video. My name is Story, and today is the 13th of October, which means one thing: we are running up until the 20th, because that's how things go around here. Welcome, my fellow Guardians. Look at this. The candles are still burning, things still can be collected, and we're going to get stuck into what to do in Destiny 2 this week. If you're new to the game, welcome. Pull up a pew and pour yourselves a piping hot brew, because this is the tower map, and all these little widgets of death and love and peace and chocolate and stuff represent vendors, and vendors are your best friends, basically, because they administer bounties, weekly challenges, exotic quests and quest lines and all kinds of stuff. So you want to frequent yourself with as many vendors in the game as possible, okay? Because there's a routine, a weekly routine, and this is why we make the weekly video, a weekly routine that you should follow in order to do all your things in the game. So vendors are your key to building a weekly routine. That's exactly what I meant to say. But anyway, for example, let's have a look at Shax here. He is the chieftain of the Crucible, and he has his live fire exercises weekly challenge, which consists of completing 8 of his bounties in PvP. That will get you some powerful gear at tier 1 once done. So gear comes in a variety of different tiers, tier 1, 2, 3, and pinnacle being the most pinnacle of the pinnacle kind of stuff that you can get, the highest power level, etc., etc. And then we've got the gunsmith, same thing, weekly bounties, 8 off, powerful gear at tier 1. Then we've got the drifter. It's double infamy for the taking, by the way, if you're into Gambit this week. Same thing, bounties 8 off, powerful gear tier 1. Then we've got means to an end. If we go over to the prismatic recaster, you pick up some quests and bounties, one of which is the means to an end quest, and that will get you some pinnacle loot once you get to the end of that. How about that? Speaking of pinnacle loot, you've got the prophecy dungeon as well. Defeat the Kel Echo for your pinnacle loot there as well. If you're a member of a clan, you could earn up to 5,000 XP for your character and get some pinnacle, not pinnacle loot, sorry, tier 2 loot there from Soraya Hawthorne. Yes, look, she's staring at me, look, with the eyes. Anyway, there you go, that's the tower map. Frequent yourself with the vendors and make everyone a very happy person indeed. Then we're going to hop off to the destinations. These are all the planets that you can visit in the game at the moment, as well as the playlists at the bottom. Let's have a look at the Vanguard playlist. 4 items on the menu. The first being daily heroic story missions. This is your chance to replay missions during the campaign. Nothing specific in terms of loot. However, you may get an in-game drop, such as a cheeky legendary engram, or maybe even an exotic if you're feeling a bit spicy. But the real stuff starts here. Vanguard strikes. The weekly is complete strikes using the same subclass element as the currently active elemental burn. 3 of the strikes completed with this recipe will get you some pinnacle loot. How's about that? What is the weekly elemental burn, you say? Well, it is Solar Singe for the week. How's about that? And the daily modifiers are grounded and brawler. So all you got to do for this is equip your solar subclass and get in there and complete 3 strikes. Moving on to the ordeal, big bad Nightfall ordeal. This week it is the Corrupted. So have at it. There's 2 weekly challenges. Run through the ordeal a bunch of times, 3 times to be exact, and that'll get you powerful gear at tier 1. Then complete the Nightfall for the second weekly challenge with a team score above 100,000 points. That'll get you some pinnacle loot. Can you Adam and Eve that? But then you go, that's the stuff that the ordeal this week is the Corrupted. Then we've got the vanilla Nightfall playlists. 3 strikes here. Lake of Shadows, Inverted Spire, and Festering Core. Now, in this Nightfall playlist, so the strikes will have some specific strike loot that you can grind the strike over and over and over again for. And the more you do it, the more that it increases your chances of getting the specific loot to drop from the boss at the end. So if you're up for doing that, the Lake of Shadows will harbour the Malicious Birthright kinetic grenade launcher. The Inverted Spire will get you the Trichromatica exotic ghost shell. And the Festering Core gets you nothing. It says unknown in the Bungie API, but we know it's not unknown. We know it's nothing. So there you go. That is the Nightfall playlist this week. Moving on, Gambit. If you're interested for the Reckoning Cooperative Arena, once 4 players, it is PvE activity here with 3 different tiers. all with the same power limits. The modifier for this week is Avoid, and the daily modifier is Grenadier. Moving on to Gambit, we've got Gambit and Gambit Prime. 3 games completed in either or of these playlists will get you some pinnacle loot. And there's, of course, private matches if you want to dabble your hand to challenge someone at defeating a primeval. There you go. Then there is some PvP. Let's have a look at the player versus player, the Crucible. We've got 2 types of playlist in here. The Rotary playlist, which are at the top here, which this week consists of Mayhem and Lockdown. So that's a 4v4 and a 6v6. And then we've got the core playlist, which consists of Rumble, Control, Elimination, Survival, Freelance Survival, and Classic Mix. There is also some private matches, but if you complete 4 games in the core matches playlist, you get some pinnacle loot, and 4 games completed in the rotator playlist will get you some gear at tier 1. Nice. There's also private matches for PvP as well if you want a 1v1 your granddad or something. Anyway, what else is there to do in Destiny 2? Well, the flashpoint this week happens to be on I think is that IO? Is it IO? No. It says Nessus on the API, but that's definitely not right. That's definitely not right. Place your bets. Place your bets. Where do you think it is this week? I'm going to go ahead and say it's on Titan. Is it? Yes, it's Titan. There you go. API is wrong. I'm reading from a teleprompter. No, it's an API machine thing. Anyway, see Sloan. Look at this. Activities completed. It's at 0%. If you want to make it 100% to get your powerful gear at tier 1, you need to do some public events, and they will spawn in the Siren's Watch or the Rig. Or alternatively, you could go and do 1 million lost sectors because you get like 5% for killing the boss and 5% for opening the chest. So there are options. You've got options. But anyway, Flashpoint is on the lovely Titan. Moving on to the Dreaming City. It's beautiful. What have we got? It's Dreaming City Curse Week 2. Go and pick your bounties up from Petrovenge, and the Ascended Challenge is in the Spine of Keris. Yes, there you go, Dreaming City business. What else is there to do? Well, we go over to the moon. There's a whole bunch of things here. Look at this. We've got Nightmare Hunts, 3 of to choose from. The weekly is to complete any Nightmare Hunt. So run it through 3 times, basically, and you'll get your powerful gear at tier 1. Then there is the Nightmare Hunt on Master difficulty. Complete that, and you'll get some pinnacle loot. Speaking of pinnacle loot, we've got the Pit of Heresy dungeon. Doing that and defeating Zulmak, Instrument of Torment, will get you some pinnacle loot as well, which is very nice. There's a couple of vendors to take note of down here. We've got the old Lectern of Enchantment here. Defeat 30 nightmares in the Sorrow's Harbour, and that will get you some powerful gear at tier 1. Same with Eris Morn's Memory Quest completed, powerful gear at tier 1 as well. Sorrow's Harbour's got some cool Altars of Sorrow, like Horde mode activity. It's always on, and there are 3 different bosses. Each day the boss will change, and each boss will drop a different legendary weapon. There's a sniper to get, there's a kinetic shotgun, and a rocket launcher as well. Nice. Also, there is a quest, like a story mission here that you can do for powerful gear at tier 1. And then the Garden of Salvation raid for pinnacle loot if you're still interested in that. Nice. Well, what else is there in Destiny 2? Well, we shall have a look at the bounty business. How do you do, what's all the weeklies, dailies, and everything? Well, we explain this for the beginners to the game because there are always newcomers to this game. And having a look at the Gunsmith, we've got 2 weekly bounties, 4 daily bounties, and then as much additional bounties as you can stomach as you have Glimmer. So looking at the weekly bounties, you get XP, Glimmer, an upgrade module, and some planetary resources. And the upgrade modules are very handy because they will allow you to upgrade your gear. Then the daily bounties offer you some mod components and enhancement cores, both of which are incredibly handy for upgrading gear. The mod components you can spend on mods, armor mods, and weapon mods. Each day, a daily reset, these will switch. So today we have Fusion Rifle Ammo Finder and Targeting Adjuster. If you've got those or you don't want them, wait 24 hours and they will refresh, ladies and gentlemen. There is also some more materials that you can exchange for more materials, although it is very costly, so be careful. Now, Speaking of bounties, if we head on over to our favourite Shax, the handler of the PvP, his weekly bounties will award reputation for your Crucible rank, as well as some Valor points, which is exactly the same thing, and Crucible tokens, which you can spend here for bits and pieces as well. But most importantly, they award a special something called Bright Dust. You get quite a lot of Bright Dust for these bounties. I think it's 200 a piece. And then the additional bounties, they will also award 10 Bright Dust per bounty cashed in. And you can keep farming these. And this applies to the Vanguard's bounties down here and the Drifters bounties over here as well. So you can farm a hell of a lot of Bright Dust. Story, why are you talking about Bright Dust? Well, over in our beloved Eververse store, you can spend your hard-earned peanut, that is your real cash, and buy some silver to get some of these lovely, luscious cosmetics, or you can grind out Bright Dust and spend Bright Dust on cosmetics as well. There is always a choice. Some stuff is exclusively for real money, but there's a hell of a lot of stuff that is actually available for Bright Dust as well. So that's why I tell you about the Bright Dust stuff. And this is the featured section for the week. Having trouble Englishing because it's late and I'm tired. Anyway, there's lots of stuff here. We've got the Lunar Roar exotic emote. There it is. And then we've got the Halted Oblivion. It's a witchy woo sparrow that's been frozen. Look at the poor frozen kitty. Someone get that kitty a hot soup. Then there's a spider mask as well if you're doing all your challenges for the Festival of the Lost. There's a reanimated entrance. Ooh. That's spooky. Summoning ritual. Has that been kicked in the genitals, or is that really a ritual? And this little section down here, this node or tab, whatever you want to call it, refreshes every day at daily reset, and that may have some cosmetics that you want from previous seasons. It's very helpful there. Then there is a little feature of Bright Dust down here. We've got some consumables that do various things. We've got the Hexing Shell, the Rueful Whale, the Howling Projection, and the Bloodmane shader. There it is. Look, I need to go grinding, look, because I don't have enough to buy Bloodmane. It's not bad. Then we've got the event section, because we have an event on at the moment, Festival of the Lost, with all the Halloween-inspired things. There is some specific Eververse armor that you can get here. Armor from previous seasons. There's emotes, exotic business galore. It's everywhere. There's so much stuff for you to peruse here. So we're not going to go through everything, but yeah, peruse at your leisure. Then there's the seasonal stuff that pertains to the season of arrivals at the moment. So there's a hell of a lot to browse here. Exotic ornaments and all kinds of things. Items may become unavailable for purchase after the season ends, so it's worth bearing in mind if there's anything that you've got your heart set on. If it doesn't disappear, it ends up here in the archive, but be warned, not everything appears in the archive. Then there is the Bright Dust specific section. This is dedicated to what you can spend your Bright Dust on. Peaceful Rest, we've got an emote this week, and we've got the the Summoning Nothing Shell, the Summoning Dance, we've got the By Candlelight emote, the Desmodus exotic ship, it's like a bat, and then there's the Quantum Shell, it's round. And there is a spinneret projection. It's like a cobweb. It's quite nice. And then there's a whole bunch of shaders and transmat effects. This is one of my favorites. I don't know why. I just like it. Anyway, from older seasons. And then there's a load of consumables as well, ladies and gentlemen. So that is your lot. That is your weekly reset from the 13th of October running up until the 20th of October. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic time in Destiny 2. This week, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, smoke us a kipper. We'll be back for breakfast.